my dad came up to me. He was like, hey, like, did you call that person back? And I was just like, no, oh, fuck, I totally forgot. He's like, oh, no, dude, it sounded really important. And I'm like, oh, shit, all right. So I went over and I looked at the little paper that he had. There was a phone number, and it just said, Adam Sandler.
Get the fuck out.
And I was like,
your dad's like, I don't know.
And my dad, no idea who Adam Sandler is.
What?
No fucking idea. And I was just like, okay. Like, for me, I didn't even think it's Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck's Adam Sandler? It must be a different Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So I called the number back, and some woman answers. I'm like,
I was hoping he answered in like one of his accents.
some woman answers. She was like, oh, hey, is this Tim? I was like, yeah. Who's this? And she was like, oh, my name's Melinda. I am an assistant for Adam Sandler and his production company. He actually, he's launching a new show called The Gong Show on Comedy Central. And The Gong Show is a classic 70s game show where essentially people would come on with different talents. And there would be judges, and they either get the pass or they get the gong, and they get booted off.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Whatever. Adam Sandler was rebooting the show on Comedy Central. And she was like, a bunch of people were talent scouted or whatever. He came across your video on YouTube doing the Mario thing.
You weren't just scouted.
He was like,
Adam
Sandler recommended your video to us. And she was like, I can't believe you didn't answer the phone earlier. Like, he called you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Completely Consensual on Play Everything. I'm very excited about my guest today. My guest today is Tim Gettys from Kind of Funny. We actually brought the whole crew along to go ahead and record this podcast. It was a really good conversation. The theme, as you'll find out, is art of the hustle. Very interesting conversation. Tim was very on the verge of that YouTube, like when the whole YouTuber thing started in terms of like making money or even getting a lot of views on YouTube and like viral video, all that stuff. So just picking his brain on how he hustled, how he got everything. It was just a fascinating conversation altogether. So this is what's kicking it off. Completely Consensual. This is what Completely Consensual is going to be. Mostly it's just going to be me and a guest. This time I want to have the boys along because this is our launch episode essentially of Play Everything, which is this great channel that you're watching now that was previously Chiptooth Gaming. So I appreciate it. So if you have questions, I will actually tweet out the guests when I do recordings a week before I record with guests. So go ahead and send in your questions for that guest. Follow me on Twitter first of all, Cheeks_Junior, and then go ahead and email completelyconsensual@gmail.com with your questions. I'd love to get those questions in for any guests I have on, and I'll tweet out the topic or the theme or whatever it is. I just love having these conversations. So without further ado, Tim Gettys. Tim Gettys.
Yes.
Welcome on to Completely Consensual.
Oh my God, I've been trying to get on the show for years and you wouldn't let me.
love it.
You emailed me last month. You're like, hey, let's make this happen. And I was like, cool. As soon as I can, I'm going to invite you to this table.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm sure this is a lot more convenient for you too.
It is.
You hate
it
the
is.
East Bay.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the East Bay. I gotta be. I'm not like Kevin, where I'm not gonna be throwing that type of shade. I'm just saying I like to stay in my own area, stay in my lane, as they say.
It's better though, you know.
Here or there?
No, there. Hands down.
East Bay is better than.
Yeah, cheaper. Hands down.
It's cheaper.
Okay.
I can afford things.
It does have things to do. A lot more fun people there.
It has more things to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey man, I'm happy.
You guys how many times you can go to the pig?
We just spent 2 hours and 30 minutes trying to find the good in the Phantom Menace, and we found something. So I guess when you're there your whole lives, you're gonna find something good.
Better burritos too.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, that's a bold take.
Stand.
It's a bold take.
Pancho Villa's in the city. I don't know if you heard
one spot.
I haven't eaten a lot out here yet.
That's the one.
Well,
sorry. Pancho Villa.
No, it's okay. So got full squad today. Wanted to talk to you about the art of the hustle. As you know, we are in the hustle right now.
You're doing it.
You built Kind of Funny from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to me, you've monetized Kind of Funny so like expertly.
Thank you.
Your hustle. I mean, let's kind of start off. So you started off IGN, correct?
I mean, that's one way to look at it. I started off way before that, right? Simply Complex, which was my YouTube channel. Before that, there was Double Gulp Productions. Before that, there was Never Leave the Club Without Toast Productions. A line as featured in the hit 50 Cent song In the Club. Nice. So that was just me making stupid ass YouTube videos, right? Like back when I was a kid, honestly, like 9 to 14.
I would say it was going to go somewhere. Like, was it somewhere where you're like, I could probably make money on it?
But it was always something I enjoyed. Yeah. I always enjoyed having a camera. My dad had a camera when I was little, like, just home video type stuff. Yeah. And I was always fascinated with it. Like, I would always try to get behind the camera, in front of the camera, be all over that damn camera. You know what I'm talking about? But I remember distinctly, like, a moment where I started thinking differently about video was I was playing with my Optimus Prime toy. I remember seeing the commercials for Transformers toys, and they would do like a stop motion thing where like the toy would transform like seamlessly. And I was like,
that looks
oh shit, I could do that. Like there's a way to make that happen. And I was like maybe like 6, 7 at the time, but I had the idea. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have Optimus Prime roll up like by just pushing the truck, right? And then I'm just gonna film a little bit. Transform a little, film a little more, transform. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then, so without editing, it's just more like actually just starting of recording, make it look like it. And then I had that on a VHS and I put it on the TV and I saw it happen. And like in my head, I'm like, I fucking nailed it, right? I still have that footage somewhere.
Michael Bay, where you at?
That'd be a fun thing to get. But like that was the moment to me that I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to do more things like that. Flash forward a couple years later, and I'm playing. Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bust Loose on the Super Nintendo.
Buster Bust Loose.
You ever play it?
No.
Before my time.
Fantastic game. Some really hard levels. There's one on a train that up until 2015 I never got past. There's a Let's Play on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can watch me beat that.
There it is.
Overcome my fears of the train level. But I was playing that game, that and Tom and Jerry on the Super Nintendo are the two that I distinctly remember doing this with, where I had the idea, and at this point I must have been 9 or 10. And I'm playing those games, and I was like, wait, if I am playing the game using the composite cables that are connected to the TV, but I connect those to the VCR first, I can record my gameplay.
Oh shit! You were on next level.
I was on some next level shit.
Making moves.
And so I was just recording gameplay for what? I don't know. But it was a thing where like I would like come up with dumbass stories in my head of like what the characters were doing. Just use 2D platformers. It's not like there was anything crazy going on.
I did that all the time too.
But I was bouncing around like just doing dumb shit, and then I'd watch the footage back and like it was useless footage, but it was like in my head I had built stories and things were going on. You look at Red versus Blue, that happened years later, and like that really kind of made me go like, oh, that's what I thought I was doing, and man, they really like did it perfectly, next level, right? But those are kind of my earliest memories, kind of playing with video as a format, as a medium.
Pioneer,
and well, it's not that. I just think that it comes with my generation. It comes with my age of there being video cameras in the house at almost all times, like. The 90s like were peak home video, where like that was something that was marketed, and it was the first time that video cameras were affordable and weren't gigantic. Like I remember even the one my dad had was pretty sizable, but it was like more like a fucking Megatron gun type situation as opposed to like you needing a whole studio to be able to run it and stuff. So because of that, I grew up around and in front of cameras. And understanding how they worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's so funny because I was the kind of the same way, just like the little camcorder, right? Trying to like make like a cops video or like, trying to do like fat kid lights something on fire, fat kid falls. Like these are all existed on YouTube now forever. But just trying to be as viral video wasn't a thing when you were growing up. At that point, it was just the access to video cameras. When I was in school, it was the viral video. You got the Numa Numa Kid. You got like all these hits essentially. The Star Wars Kid,
Oh yeah.
So it was all about chasing that viral video. I just think it's interesting. So you went from that, and then you went into middle school, still making videos.
Well, so that was the thing. Like, what you're bringing up, like I went through that too. It just wasn't when I was really young. Because then we hit a point with what you're talking about. The fat kid does this, fat kid does that. It was Jackass, right? Jackass really influenced an entire generation of middle schoolers to go out and not just do shenanigans, but to record the shenanigans, right? And everyone mimicked that. Like, it was reality at its best, where you're like, it wasn't just good enough to have fun. You needed the fun to be recorded, right? And I think that definitely caused a lot of us being really stupid, doing many, many stupid things,
Very true.
and filming it, which is like, great. Now there's proof of the stupid things that we did.
Yeah.
But then from there, I think there was a jump point where a lot of kids were doing that, but it was around me being 13 or so, 12 or 13, that I wanted to take that and elevate the art. I wanted to edit. I wanted to add music to the clips. I wanted to slow-mo. I wanted to do all that stuff where I remember going to Best Buys and looking at a bunch of computer programs and like just picking up those stupid ass, like, they don't do this anymore.
Cardboard boxes?
But like those big cardboard boxes of like PC programs, and it would be like Sony Vegas like 2.0, and you look at it and it's like, put your footage in slow-mo, like playback in this, like
I remember
edit
those
and all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't have the money to be able to do that, but I always just remember looking at it and being like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I can possibly imagine, is editing videos of me and Kevin and Cool Greg jumping off shit set to music from The Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that we needed. And it would be a couple years till I got access to those things. But that to me was the moment where it wasn't about viral videos. Like, it was about just being able to make videos. Because we're talking, that was 2002, 2003. So,
and editing software was not cheap too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, not.
Windows Movie Maker came with Windows though.
Trash. I always tried using it.
And but like that, but that's
terrible.
the thing, is like,
That's
there
what
was
we
a time period where that's all there was that was available to people, and like that, it was enough. Like, it allowed me to do the things that I wanted to do, and I think that's kind of a key thing when it comes to creatives as a whole. And no matter how much tech you have, no matter how much vision you have, it's your limitations that define what you're making and who you are. Yeah. I was limited by those things, but I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to do it. But video production is troubleshooting. It is trying to figure out, all right, I can't do this thing the way that I'm supposed to be able to. How can I accomplish something that looks like it? How can I like do my best to find workarounds that will allow this to look the way that I want it to, right? And
make do with what
and I think a good example of that is, going back to the Transformers stop motion thing. When I was 5 years old, I didn't have video editing software. Duh. But even when I was 11 years old, I didn't have video editing software. But when me and Kevin wanted to scare my mom, we did the same tactic of recording, stop recording, change the set, record again, where we were in Santa Cruz at a hotel, and we had my brother like on this giant, like, maybe like 4-story down drop. and maybe like 2-3 stories, whatever.
Yeah, it was 2 stories.
2-story drop. And we had him be like, hey, I'm Greg Gettys, this is Jackass, and I'm gonna jump off. And we had him like go over and like go to jump off, but then we cut. Then we took his clothes off and we filled his clothes with pillows.
Yeah.
And he like had a hat on and shit. And we tossed that thing off and it just fell and it hit the ground. And then we like stopped recording, started again with my brother down there like in the clothes again. Like, And we showed my mom and Kevin's mom, and they freaked the fuck out. Like, they were so upset at us for letting my brother jump and hurt himself.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't have video editing software for that, but we made it happen, because you had to think creatively to come up with the solution to do this really stupid, dumb thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny how creative, because it is make do with what you got. Like, that is, I agree with you. That is how you get good, because you're not going to have money. Like, you're not going to have money starting out. So it's like, what can you do with the limitations you have, and how can you make that good, essentially? Like, look the best possible way possible. I mean, with us, right? Even with our like studio,
dope
it's like,
as hell, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of shims and trim, man, make it look nice, but it's how can we look as professional as possible? That's always been like my mindset with making things.
And see, I think that is a perfect example of where you guys are at with where technology's at. Everybody has a phone. Every phone has a camera. That camera is 1,000 times better than any camera I used until I was probably 20 years old. You know, like that's kind of nuts to think about because at the time those cameras were when I was in college and like those were fancy ass cameras that cost thousands of dollars. And now this is way better than any of that ever could have.
Yeah, even video cameras today still are not as good as your iPhone.
I mean, and that's
to be honest, like so, the Handycam ones still look like trash compared to like an iPhone like.
But the funny thing is, and I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I think that it makes a lot of sense with this. Is like I'm talking about the limitations of not even having video editing software.
Oh yeah, no, you were even more.
Or then later having video editing software that crashed every 5 seconds because it's Windows Movie Maker and your computer can't deal with it. But then you flash forward to 2019, us using Adobe Premiere, the same things happen, but we've had now 30 years of experience learning shit where it's like, oh fuck, if this is happening, task manager, what can we, it's like you just learn all these dumb little tricks. But then you look at it and this sounds like a joke. I'm not joking here. TikTok is the most impressive thing I have ever fucking seen because sure, it's just a medium and like there's bad examples on it. The way that kids using it, the way that these 11 to 15-year-old kids are coming up with creative ass fucking things to do of just ways that they're recording, acting as multiple parts. That's some nutty professor shit. But it's like, it's better than that. They're coming up with it. And it's the idea of the remix. It's the idea of let's take an idea and iterate and add our own spin and add our own kind of zhuzh to it, right?
Yeah.
And when you see these fucking kids, it's easy to hate on them, and they look stupid. They all look fucking stupid. I get it. But when you think about the art of what they're doing, you think about like the types of minds that it takes to
that's your Jackass videos
to do that shit. It's the Jackass videos, but like way fucking more impressive. But that's an example of somebody whose limitations aren't the camera. It's them. It's them having to come up with like what's something different, what's something I can do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. So you get video editing software right for the first time. At that point, so when does it become the point to where it's like, okay, I can do this, or like this is a career that I want to go down, or I can make money off this, or because again, money is always my thing is always if you can't do it for free, you're not gonna make money off of it. Like if
absolutely,
money should always be like very back, like not even in the mind.
Yeah, it's complicated. To answer your first question there, I distinctly remember the moment that I understood what I wanted to do. It was junior year of high school, and I was in math class, and we were sitting there.
Fuck this! I don't want to do math ever again.
No, well, I mean, of course, right? but no, it was like it was junior year of high school, so we're going into senior year where there's all the pressure of the SATs and the applying to colleges and like, what are you going to do? Like, what's all this stuff? And it was the first time anyone had ever asked me, what are you going to do? What are you going to major in college? I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea. My mom and dad didn't go to college. I had no fucking clue. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know. What are you going to do? And then this person I was with was like, oh, like I want to do this, like I think I'm going to try to be a lawyer, essentially. And I was like, all right. And someone else was talking, and they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to try to do magazines. Like, I really want to work in magazines. And at that time, it wasn't that crazy of a thing to say. But like, I want to do something in magazines. And like, that sparked it for me where I'm like, that's such a weird thing. And I was like, I want to like, and then the girl was like, you like filming stuff. Like, you really like doing like stupid videos and shit. Like, because at this point, it was 2005. It was the year YouTube came out. Yeah. But MySpace had video before that. And like MySpace was popping off from like 2003 to about 2007 even. But like there was video on there, and I was uploading stupid ass videos to that. And in that time though, like she was like, oh, you upload all your MySpace videos. Like, what about something there? And I was like, that is what I want to do. I was like, yeah, that's a good answer. And she was like, oh, like, do you want to direct movies? And I was like, no, I don't. Like,
that's too much.
I don't want to do movies. She's like, what about like TV shows? I'm like, nah, man. Like, honestly, like that sounds like too much. And and I was like, I just want to make short videos. Like, I want to make commercials or music videos. Like, I want to make music videos. Yeah. Okay. And like, it hit me there. I'm like, wait, people get paid to make music videos. Yeah. Like, that's a fucking thing. And that was the moment that I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but I want to go to school. I want to major in video production. Yeah. With the goal of directing music videos. From that gave me kind of a path to walk down. Yeah. And in my free time, me, Kevin, Alfredo, like whoever the fuck was around would be just making stupid videos, like just fun things here and there, just for fun, because that's where there needs to be the passion there. And it wasn't until a couple years later where YouTube came out in 2005. By 2007, we were starting to see YouTubers. Like YouTubers didn't exist until around then.
Got
Philip
Jenna
DeFranco.
Marbles.
Jenna Marbles was way later, man.
Was it?
Jenna Marbles was 2012.
Really?
Whoa, actually,
I thought she was early.
No. Jenna Marbles was 2014.
There's no way. I thought that was
Yeah.
way
If
earlier.
you
than that.
remember,
It was our first VidCon we went to. Wait. It was 2012. Our first VidCon we went to when
Got
we were
it down.
with IGN. She was
I
the one
thought I
popping
remember
off,
it
and she
seeing
was
her
the
way
success story because she was the first channel to hit 2 million subscribers in less than a year.
That's nuts.
And like, it's
Yeah, that's
crazy
when
to think
it was the
now
Wild
where
West.
it's like
2 million is nothing.
2
now.
million will just fucking pop up overnight.
It's quick.
It's still rare, like not like obviously, but like when it happens, like Smosh is now, I think they just crossed 26 million subscribers, and at that time in 2012, Smosh was the #1 channel, where they were about to hit 5, which is just crazy to think about how that all changes. But so it was around then 2007 where it's like, okay, cool. Philip DeFranco was a known entity. Happy Slip, like all these like random old school OG. YouTube channels, it's like they were making daily content, they were making weekly content, they were making content, and all of a sudden people were like, wait a minute, this is a different format than things we've ever seen before. It's not a TV show, it's not a movie, it's not a commercial, it's content that is short form video series, right? Sometimes that would never end. It was just like whatever. And then the daily vlog became a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was sometime then around 2009 that Smosh became the first partner channel on YouTube, and that meant that YouTube was paying them from their ad money for them to make videos.
Yeah.
After Google bought them, right?
Yeah.
That's when the ad stuff started.
And that's when YouTubers started making money. It wasn't until then that I even thought about that, because no one thought about that.
Yeah,
That wasn't
you're not gonna make money off internet video.
Yeah,
you
like,
insane kid.
that wasn't a thing at all.
Like you tell me right now, I'll upload a video and I'll get money? No.
Yeah, it was just fucking crazy. But that kind of created this like fervor of everyone's content changing to kind of match that shit. And with that, we saw a lot of shady shit go down. I'm really going off on tangents.
No,
here.
you're good. I love it.
Shit.
Yeah, no, I do.
So,
That's
taking
what
it all
I
in.
love.
There was this dude,
It's like a cool kid,
this dude named Mr. Safety.
Okay.
Where I'm
Mr. Safety.
Mr. Safety. Yeah, it's Mr. Safety. He was one of the OG YouTubers. He came up with the Charles Trippy and Philip DeFranco, like that era of people, and the original Smosh, like two dudes.
2 people.
And his whole thing was hustling, scheming to a bad degree, though. Like, he took it too far. So he was the first person to realize that YouTube, the thumbnails are the exact middle of the video. Whatever's the clip in the middle of the video is going to show up as a thumbnail. You couldn't have custom thumbnails. That wasn't a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Nobody even thought about that. So what did he do?
Yeah,
He put
middle of the
boobs as
video.
every single image in the center of the videos, right? Immediately. Every fucking video, of which he had uploaded 3 years worth, daily stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Changed, had it so that boob, 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 boob,
So
boob.
funny.
All of a sudden, YouTube is just full of boobs, and guess what? They're getting clicked on.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, oh my God. They hit the algorithm, he becomes this rapid success because he played the system,
Yeah.
right? Everyone started doing this. YouTube started making more systems to like keep that shit in check.
Yeah.
He moved over to MySpace, and like it turned into some real scam shit. Like he was really like, scamming people from
We're talking about Mr.
Oh,
Safety.
no.
Mr. Safety.
Was scamming.
Yeah.
That's very ironic.
Yes. Oh yeah, dude. No, things got real bad with him, and there was a lot of legal shit, and like he took it too far.
What was he doing on MySpace? How was he?
Private messages that like would end up like essentially
Social
getting people to yeah, honestly,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Like he was tricking motherfuckers because like he abused the idea of like kind of funny best friends.
Yeah.
He had this group of people and then took advantage of it.
So that's
He
like wrong.
broke
man.
the code of the art of this.
Totally,
the hustle.
Totally,
Yeah.
man. Like
It's
it
still
was real
hustling though, or
bad.
No.
No, I mean it's hustling, but you're breaking hustle code. I really do think there's like
There's
a hustler
hustle
code.
Yeah,
in
man.
terms
Like
of,
no,
like-
there's rules to shit where it's like all of a sudden it's not hustling. It's
Hustling
Scamming.
is about
You're-
working, right? Hustling is about working on your craft. What he did was actually a shortcut. You ain't really hustling if you're doing a shortcut. Is that the idea? Is It's
no,
like that
it's
abuse
not
of
so much
power?
that. It's just like don't fuck other people over.
Yeah.
Like
That's just decency.
That was just abuse.
Decency.
Yeah.
Human decency, bro.
Totally.
Don't fuck that
but
up.
anyways, like as all that was happening, it's like that there was a real quick bubble that popped of all these people trying to make money at once. And then Google got really involved and was like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to have a partner program. You can apply. You need to have, when you look at Twitch now, that was kind of what it was. Yeah. And all of a sudden that gave me a goal. All of a sudden I'm like,
I can hit that.
I was like, oh fuck. You're telling me that if I get 1,000 views on a video and 100 subscribers, which back then was a huge fucking deal, that I can apply to be a partner and then I can make money off of my things. Cool, I'm going to do that. And then that was the thing that I'm like, cool. And I feel like that idea there is applicable to every step of your career, no matter what you're doing, which is what is the next thing you got to do to unlock the next thing you got to do. Yeah. Right? And you just keep fucking going. And that never stops. There's always going to be, this will allow me to do that. That will allow me to do this.
Well, I think that's the important thing, too, because you're not focused on end game, right? Necessarily, you're focused on that next step, and then that next step, and then that next step. Because I feel like a lot of people, they get that end game in their head, and then they're just not hitting any goal because it's so unattainable at that point where they're at, and then they get burned out. Yeah. For me, that's what I see from a lot of people, just in any hustle, right? You want X, Y, and Z, but you're not even thinking about all this other stuff you can do to get to X, Y, and Z. You're not setting the goals. You're not setting the short term.
And thinking back then, it's like, I jumped to that in so many ways. Like, I definitely did not do this perfectly. I made many, many mistakes. I waited way too long to do things that I should have been doing all along. I made maybe like 3 or 4 talk to the camera, just, here's my thoughts on this thing, videos. And they all were hits. It resonated with people because it was a novelty back then, especially to my friends.
Yeah, now there's every white guy in the country in the camera. This is what I think.
No, exactly. But like then it was just like, oh shit, like no one's doing this, right? Like I posted on Facebook and people, they would listen because they're like, whoa, we thought that these videos were supposed to be just like, home video shit, not like content, right?
So was that like your first foot into like the YouTube world where you were just making those face-to-face videos?
Yeah, so that wasn't even YouTube. That was on Facebook video.
Okay,
so I was doing stuff there, and by doing all that, eventually I was like, sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. What I'm trying to say is like mistakes that I made. Constantly, I would talk to Kevin and be like, oh man, here's my plan, here's what I want to do, and he'd be like, why aren't you just doing it? And I'd always have an excuse. It would always be something, and like justifiable excuses, but they were excuses. Yeah. And I look back on it, I'm like, I should have been making a fucking daily video. All it had to be are like, here's my thoughts on this, and just talk. Yeah. I'd be in a much different place. Yeah, granted, things worked out. Like I'm not complaining.
Yeah, but you were hitting that Wild West where it really is something like that pops, and if you did it consistently, and if you did it like that, then it like because nobody else was doing that, right? Besides a handful of people, right?
Yeah, but like people were doing it. Yeah. There's nothing that I was doing that. Yeah, there was nothing I was doing that was unique.
But it's not the whole platform, though.
But that's the thing is like there was food on the table to take. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's just like, especially if I could have just had that niche of I had a big audience already of just friends. Like all it takes is a friend to share. And this was Facebook. Facebook is built on sharing, right? Like you look at BuzzFeed, and again, for all of the shit that you want to give it, BuzzFeed's entire dominance is based off the thing of, hey man, I believe this, someone else is going to relate to that. Yeah. And if you relate to something, you want to share it with someone because it shows that you identify with something. People want to identify with things, right? And I feel like that is what those videos did. Is you're like, oh shit, I can get an opinion on something. I agree with this guy, or I disagree with this guy. But that was a novelty, right? But I pretty quickly went from like, oh man, I should be doing this, to not doing it, to instead being like, I'm going to start a production company. It's called Simply Complex. We got to make a logo. We got to make the t-shirts. We're going to sell this shit. We're going to do it. Wrong way to look at it. Now, granted, that taught me a lot of valuable things. How to use Illustrator. What's the difference between Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop? Mm-hmm. Why would you use this? Why would you use that? All this different, like, random stuff. Like, how do you make t-shirts? What do those processes look like? What could an online storefront look like? Like, it definitely helped me in many ways. However, I shouldn't have been doing any of that. I should have been making videos. Yeah. Right? So focusing I feel like it's very easy to get distracted by all of the extra shit because you're thinking of the end game. Yeah. You're not thinking, like, I'm thinking of like when we're famous, we're going to sell shirts.
Yeah, we got shirts.
Know? But then who's gonna buy the shirts if
you don't have any audience?
You don't have,
you don't have content. So what are they gonna go do? Yeah. I think that's beautifully said. What do you remember your first pop? Like your first video that?
Yes.
It's still up right now.
There's definitely a lot of things. I mean, so here's the thing. It's like I had a lot of moments that felt huge to me, because contextually they were.
Yeah.
I put up some stupid jokey rap songs up on MySpace, and they got
parodies?
What's up?
Parodies?
Nah, not so much parody as much as just
originals, dog.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, there was some parody shit.
Tim Getty's original.
It's Tim Getty original shit. But it was comedy focused. It was never fucking serious, right?
Yeah.
But 20,000 listens, and
that's a lot.
That's a lot, man. There's SoundCloud rappers that still don't get that shit.
Yeah.
There's many of them,
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah. Even good peoples aren't getting those numbers. But I was, again, not the only one doing it, because I never did anything original. If I was doing something, I saw someone else do it, and I'm like, I could do that too, but differently. It's back to the remix idea, right? Take the idea, but do it differently, right?
I don't think there's a whole lot of original stuff you can do now, though. At the time, I mean, even then, there, like you said, there are still people doing it, but it's so hard to do, carve out that real original, niche thing right now, because there's so many videos on YouTube. There's so many people doing different things, so you really almost have to be okay, somebody is doing this, but how am I going to make it mine?
Don't reinvent the wheel as well, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing is if something works, add your twist and go. But yeah, so MySpace, I had a couple songs that were really popping off, but there's no context to that. 20,000 listens is a lot, but it's it was kind of just oh, it happened in a vacuum. It's just whoa, this happened, and it was a fun thing to tell my brother, dude, Damn Tim is Sexy, the song got 7,000 listens. But
he's like, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What's to do with it?
You know what I mean? What? Okay, cool. Shit. Then what? It's fun to tell my friends, and they'd look at it and see that number, and be what the fuck? 7,000 people listen to this, but that's what that would end.
That's when popularity was just for popularity, right? There is no money behind it. It was just
And granted, that still happens today. The amount of times that my friends, not industry friends, but just the normies, right?
Yeah.
They'll tell me,
Normies.
and it's when shit will come up and someone sees my Instagram, they're like, "What the fuck? How did you get that many likes?" And they just freak out. But then that ends.
Yeah.
It goes away. That's not that shit means nothing, really.
Yeah.
But that at least inspired you a little bit, right? Seeing those views, okay, I could do better. I could do better.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's that
Totally.
the hustle idea in you.
Absolutely. So then my first pop, the real thing is because those things were happening, so there's always a little snap crackle going on. But the pop came in high school. So high school, I was making dumb videos. I did a lot of how to ask a girl out videos. So it's if you're familiar with my shit,
those were huge on YouTube too.
Familiar with my shit now. It's I do the proposal videos, right? All my best friends getting engaged, go out, do some crazy ass thing to make a dope video. We did that shit in high school, but it was how to ask a girl out because we're not fucking proposing. We're how to ask a girl to prom, right?
Yeah.
That type of shit.
Promposals,
man.
You did that?
We were fucking on that shit.
That,
I swear to God. Okay, maybe I said I didn't do anything original. That was my fucking shit, dude. And I had that on lock. I really, really, really did. But
the prom guy.
You're I need petals in the lockers. I need rose petals everywhere.
He's with the microphone. He's checking all the high schoolers around. Jimmy, I need water here, A-stat.
Overcome right now.
Man, I wish it was that. Some of the things we did were embarrassingly cringeworthy. But
they said yes.
It worked. They said yes, and it made content that people enjoyed.
That's awesome.
Things are always going to be cringeworthy, and at the end of the day, I'm so proud of that shit. No matter what it is,
cringe is always what gets me though.
What's up?
Seeing somebody cringe, those cringy videos. Mm-hmm. I hate to see it, but then I love it at the same time.
Yeah,
damn.
It's a lot. But so I was doing all those in high school, but it wasn't until my senior year, so 2007, talent show at Lowell, where I had seen the talent show every year because it's kind of a big event, right? Yeah. And there was some dope shit. People did some really, really cool shit. There was this dude that jumped through hoops. The hoops were on fire. It was fucking crazy, man.
That's cool.
It was, yeah, man.
They allowed that, dude?
It was crazy. But anyways, there was when it came to my senior year, I was like, all right, I'm gonna win this shit. I'm gonna fucking win the talent show. There's nothing cooler than that. So what we did was the Super Mario Brothers live thing, where we had a black curtain behind us. People were wearing all black. And remember that Matrix video, the ping pong Matrix thing, where it's like everything like was
I know
whatever.
Yeah.
I directed that, and me and my friends and my brother practiced for like 2 days. We made a bunch of like Koopas and Goombas and like all this shit, and we did Mario live on stage, and people lost their fucking minds. There was probably 1,000 people in the audience, and it was like standing ovation of people just going absolutely ape shit for us. So much so that they demanded an encore. And so we did an encore. We did it again.
The same thing?
The same thing.
That's all you got.
I mean, it was pre-programmed. Like, I don't know what people fucking expected. But now that they knew what was happening, it was so much fun because so what happened was we did it. More people did stuff. We won. I got a giant check.
Nice.
And then they demanded an encore. We did the encore. But as we were doing it, like the audience was so into it because they knew it was going to happen. Yeah. So everyone was just fucking like, get the star! Get the star! And it's just like, I have never felt, at that point in my life, never felt that alive.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this is what I fucking want to do. Like, this is so rad. And
that's the first drug, huh?
Well,
as soon as you get that like pop, you're like,
so dude, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. I go home and I have never felt better. I was like, that was the fucking coolest thing. Holy shit. Let's fucking go. I go home. I go online. First thing I do, go on Facebook, go on MySpace, try to find people that posted the video. Like, did anyone record this?
Yeah.
Because I didn't.
Damn, Tim Getty's slipping.
Did you catch anyone?
That's not Tim Gettys. Tim Gettys now films everything. Yeah. Anything he could possibly get a click on.
I found one person, my friend Denise.
Okay.
Denise-ical, as she went.
Shout out.
She was MySpace famous. No fucking lie. She was the most famous person I knew at that point in my life. She was just a girl in my class.
And you were the top 8 or what?
But it was like, this is the Tila Tequila days.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And Denise-ical was her like online persona. And dude, she had thousands of friends.
Holy shit.
And in a time when like anybody that I knew max had 100.
Plus
you
Tom.
know? And everyone had Tom. But like she was like e-girl before e-girls. But anyways, I always thought she was hella cool for that just because I've always been into that shit.
Yeah.
But she didn't do stuff. She was just a girl.
Yeah.
She was just a girl with like that, not even like what that means nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, cause that gives a picture in your head. It wasn't, she was just a girl in my math class, like nothing special.
Girl on the internet.
But it was just, no, but it was like, she was the girl that had the like, the best HTML graphics. She always had the hottest song on her MySpace. It was just like that type of shit. Right?
Curator.
She was a curator for the time. I don't even know, man. It's hard to explain.
That was a big thing on MySpace.
It was.
The song in the background.
Hell yeah, man.
Point. Song.
So, but what this comes down to is her YouTube channel had it. And
she had YouTube?
She just had a YouTube channel, personal YouTube channel.
Okay.
And she had maybe like one video that was like her and her friends in the courtyard of high school, like fucking laughing because someone's dancing on a table, and it had 14 views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Doesn't even have a title, just has the
Like
code, the HT2.
No, literally whatever .img, whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's that, right? But she had a video that was like, like Lowell High School, Tim Gettys, like talent show winner, whatever the fuck. And I click it, I'm like, oh fuck. And it was a video of the encore. So like it wasn't the best version. Like there was a lot more mistakes and shit. But I was just like, oh shit, at least someone captured this on video. Like that's fucking cool. And I was so stoked. I showed my mom and I showed like everyone that I could that night. So with my brother like 4 times. And then even though he was in it. And I go to sleep. Then I wake up the next morning. And I was like looking at this, and I get a text message, and like it was a different time, flip phones and shit. I get a text message from Denise, and she's just like, Tim, like my computer's blowing up. My email keeps getting shit from YouTube with different awards. And this was back when YouTube had like honors, where it's like, this is the
video of the week or something.
This is the 10th most viewed video today. This is the 9th most viewed. This is the 8th most viewed. It became the #1 most viewed video that day.
Shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? Immediately get jealous that it's not on my channel.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
right away.
God
I was
damn
like,
it.
God damn it, Denise-ical. But I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, 1 million views. a million fucking
YouTube back then too, a million views.
Back then, it was number one. It was the number one fucking video.
It would actually be on news channels or something like sometimes.
Totally,
they'd be on viral.
Yeah,
they did viral videos on YouTube, and they would actually announce it on the news, like
KTLA in the morning.
Damn.
So
this shit went so viral.
God damn.
That whatever that happens, and I was feeling myself like way too hard to this day. But let's flash forward a couple months, right? Graduate high school, is what it is. Cool, great. That video did not get me laid. And then
upsetting.
Months later, so in between high school and college, so this summer, right?
Yeah.
I'm chilling, having a great time. Alfredo's essentially living at my house. We're playing video games every night. I fall asleep and I wake up. My dad wakes me up at 1 p.m. on some random ass day. And he was like, hey, you got a phone call? I got the number, you can call him back. And I was just like, who was it? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I wrote it down, whatever. And I was like, so I went back to sleep. It's like, who the fuck would be calling me? That
did he know though?
Super weird. Because they called the house phone.
Yeah, they would hit him up. Yeah.
And I'm
house phones, never forget.
House phones, but I forgot. Even by that point, I'm like, I'm not using a house phone. Who the fuck's calling me? Who has my house phone number? That's really fucking weird. And when I eventually woke up again, my dad came up to me. He was like, hey, did you call that person back? And I was just like, no, oh fuck, I totally forgot. He's like, oh no, dude, it sounded really important. And I'm like, oh shit, all right. So I went over and I looked at the little paper that he had. There was a phone number, and it just said Adam Sandler.
Get the fuck out.
And I was like,
your dad's like, I don't know.
And my dad, no idea who Adam Sandler is.
What?
No fucking idea. And I was just like, okay. For me, I didn't even think it's Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck's Adam Sandler? It must be a different Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
So I called the number back, and some woman answers. I'm like,
I was hoping he answered in one of his accents.
Some woman answers. She was like, oh, hey, is this Tim? I was like, yeah. Who's this? And she was like, oh, my name's Melinda. I am an assistant for Adam Sandler and his production company. He actually, he's launching a new show called The Gong Show on Comedy Central. And The Gong Show is a classic 70s game show where essentially people come on with different talents. And there would be judges, and they either get the pass or they get the gong, and they get booted off.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Whatever. Adam Sandler was rebooting the show on Comedy Central. And she was like, a bunch of people were talent scouted or whatever. He came across your video on YouTube doing the Mario thing.
You weren't just scouted.
He was like, Adam Sandler
recommended
recommended your video to us. And she was like, I can't believe you didn't answer the phone earlier. He called you. And I was like,
whoa.
what?
Your dad talked to Adam Sandler.
And I didn't even know.
Yeah, I'll give him a call back. Yeah, sounds good. I'll call you back. And then Adam Sandler must have been like,
so
he doesn't fucking know me.
Moving forward in this process, I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm like, what is happening right now? Me and Alfredo were literally just dancing with joy. This is our break, man.
Dope.
We're fucking doing it. And it was around, we're freaking out. And over the next course of let's say month, right? Back and forth with this woman. I eventually talked to Adam Sandler, on the phone. I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm calling everyone I know, bitches, I need it. You know what I mean? And eventually, I just kept getting more and more bad news. People got hey, so they're gonna fly you down to LA, you and whoever you need. We'll do all this stuff. It's gonna be great. You're gonna perform. A week later, hey, so we're gonna do that. But you need to get everything cleared for copyrights and samples and stuff.
Oh shit.
And whatever. And I was like, all right. And then they come back, hey, so Nintendo, they're not gonna let you use any of their music, their actual music. So you're gonna have to get remixes or whatever. And I'm like, all right.
No.
So I went in and I hustled fucking hard. This was peak hustling where I went on MySpace. I hit up every video game remixer that I listened to. Yeah. And I was like, here's the situation. Can you make me a remix of this? Please. It'll be on TV, whatever. Got a bunch of shit. Got it together. Edited. Taught myself how to do all this shit. Made a new mix that didn't use any Nintendo stuff. It used the songs, but remixed, right?
Yeah.
And eventually sent it to them. They're like, all right, this works, but this doesn't fucking work.
Wow.
And I'm like,
why doesn't it work?
It was the underwater music. They're like,
oh,
this
shit.
is too similar to the original. Like, it's not enough of a remix. Nintendo says it's not going to pass their thing. And I'm panicking. I'm like, I have days at this point where I'm like, there's no way I can fucking finish this. And this comes back to when you have a problem, you got to fucking figure it out. I was like, I got a mic. I can make sounds with my mouth. and I was just like,
you with the fiddle.
I was like, all
recorder.
right, I can't do the Mario underwater music. And I was like, what if I just fucking started making sounds that sound like it could be a Mario underwater song? And I literally started going, do 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 do, just that. And I'm like, when I played it back, I'm like, no one's gonna know the fucking difference. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds stupid because it's me singing, but like, it sounds like underwater music. Yeah. Like, the idea's there. Great. Ship it. Send it over. They're like, yo, you just went through the fucking gauntlet. Like, I don't know how you solved every fucking problem, but like, yo, you're good.
That's rewarding in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just to be
let's fucking go.
We're honestly just expecting you not to come. Like,
another obstacle, they put you in a corner, though. That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Next day. Hey, we're going to book your flights to LA. Like, next week, you're going to fly, whatever. I'm like, fuck it. We're doing it, dude. The day after that, I got a call.
Gets canceled.
Hey, Nintendo straight up gave a cease and desist.
Damn.
You're done. And I got so sad.
That was your
I was like, Melinda, why would you do
that?
Like, oh, come on.
That
I was like, I'll do anything. Like, let me on this fucking show. Like, I'll come up with a new talent right now. And I didn't get to go on the show. So that was the big pop. But it ended up failing miserably. We're going hella long here. But like, to get to where I think you want me to go, to jump from that pop to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because it is a 1-for-1. That happens. A couple years later, like, at this point, again, I'm not in the fucking industry. I don't know anyone in the industry. That is such a foreign concept to me. I'm a 17-year-old kid that got a call from Adam Sandler and failed. And at that point, my dream was to go to E3. Like, any fucking kid that plays video games. True. It's like, E3 is the coolest thing ever. Nothing could possibly be better than that. I need to go to fucking E3. Any opportunity to get, I'm going to go. Never an opportunity. That's never going to fucking happen. How would that fucking happen? Eventually, PlayStation had a contest. PlayStation blog.
And Tim Gettys is there on a contest.
They were like, this is what started the whole contest thing for me. Where they were like, hey, we're going to send 3 people out to E3. If you make a PlayStation commercial. This is the Kevin Butler days. So the Dear PlayStation, blah, 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 blah. So we made a bunch of videos. We won 2 out of 3. Me and Alfredo get to go to E3. Fuck yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. We're at E3.
Wait, so you each submitted your own video?
We directed, filmed, edited different videos.
The chances of that was pretty dope.
The other winner, Peanut Butter Gamer, who is a YouTuber now. Mega fucking famous. Like,
he's there.
Millions of views on shit. Meanwhile, we're here.
Yeah, that's right. Still good. Still good. Got the nice LED wall.
So we're at E3. We're at E3 having the time of our lives, like freaking the fuck out just to be there. But this is where the hustle kicked in for me, where I'm like, all right, I am at the Holy Mecca. I'm surrounded by video games. Like, I got to go to the PlayStation press conference. Like, it was a fucking awesome time. But I was like, how do I turn this into forever? Like, I need to talk to somebody. Like, I need to make a move here. And my first thought was, I was like, all right, IGN is in San Francisco. I know that. I was like, I can't work for a video game company. Like,
I have no
I'm not
talent.
Gonna make a video game. You know, I was like, but IGN, like, they do video. I can do video. Yeah. You know, and I went up to the IGN booth, and I literally just walked up to it. Jessica Chobot was hosting a live Daily Fix, and I just like walked up to her.
Shit.
After she finished the thing.
Excuse me, you do the hiring, miss?
And I was just like, hey, I'm Tim Gettys. I'm from San Francisco. I'm going to school at SF State. I do video production. I don't know if you guys are doing internships or whatever, but who should I talk to?
Nice.
And
to the host?
To Jessica fucking Chobot. And dude, I've known Jess now. I mean, I met her then. I didn't really meet her. I met her a couple years after that. So I've now known her a decade. And like, goddamn, I caught her on a good day. I cannot believe how nice she was to me. Not that she's not super nice, but like,
Just a
It's
random
unexpected.
coming
She
up
must
to you.
at
be
a
like-
random dude
Yeah.
at E3 when
That's
you're
not the
stressed
move.
out of
That's
your
usually
fucking
not the
mind.
move.
Not the fucking move.
Yeah.
Dude, you know it is
Totally
not
not
right.
the move, man.
For anybody listening who thinks that's a good idea, do not
Don't
do
do
not
it.
do it.
Just
that
don't
way.
come up
do
story.
it. I got her at the right time though, and
Holy shit.
she was like, "Oh, hey, Eric Hart, you should go talk to this dude, Eric Hart. He got you."
Yeah, you shot your shot.
And I was like, "Cool." I had no idea who the fuck Eric Hart was.
Say no more.
So I was like,
Going around.
So then
Do you know who Eric Hart is?
literally going around. Hey, is Eric Hart here? Is Eric Hart here? Like to anyone at the IGN booth. Eventually, this dude David Clayman was like, "Oh, that's Eric Hart." It's like,
Fuck.
"Oh, fuck, awesome, man." So I see Eric, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Tim. I'm
the guy.
I do SF State video production internship. Blah blah blah." And he goes, "Oh shit. Hey, cool. Send me an email," and like he gave me a card. He's like, "Send me an email, and if you have like a resume or link to anything that you've done, like let me know." I was like, "Cool, man. Have a great day." I walk away. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I got a job. This is fucking rad." And that's not how that went.
Yeah.
But
Never
it
does.
kind of did. So I emailed him, no response for a while.
Yeah.
But I emailed him just saying, "Hey, I'm Tim. I met you at E3, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a resume or whatever." Or no, that's not true. I made a resume for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I fucking had
Yeah.
to. Made a resume, sent him it. And I was like, my resume's fine. But I was like, but this is what I'm known for. And I sent a link to the Mario video, the
Yeah.
musical version
That's,
of the Mario video. And I was like,
Gotta
you
do
know,
the one with the
this
views.
went-
You
this
gotta
went-
do the one with the
of
views.
course.
Yeah.
I was like, this one went kind of viral. So what's up? He responds eventually, and he goes, "Holy shit, you made the Mario video?" And I was like,
Yeah, what's up, B?
"Let's
Got that clout.
fucking go." And he was like, "Hey, come in next week.
Holy shit.
You're our intern.
And
You're our video
Say
intern."
no
that's
more.
also a very
Fuck.
narrow window too, because IGN doesn't do intern. They did like interns for like what? What was that time period? It was like a sliver of like like a year.
So they did interns forever. They did interns for forever. Fox bought them. Fox had some shady intern shit going on. It was like Me Too before Me Too. And like it got real nasty and real bad. So they were like, "No more fucking interns.
Damn.
We're just not doing interns." So they got cut off. I was their first intern in hella long. And
Whoa.
Eric was just like, "No, this kid has it, man. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, this kid fucking has it." And he put so much on the line for me. And it's crazy.
Shout
To
out to
this
Eric
day, I
Hart.
fucking love him. But in the email, he was just like, "Hey, come this day, 3rd floor, the address, blah, blah, blah. You're going to want to meet like the person that's like," he's like, "I'm going to be your direct like boss or whatever, but like the boss that you're meeting, like the guy that you need to see is the guy that runs everything." Or no, he didn't say the guy. He was just like, "The person that runs everything is Fran Mirabella.
Cool.
So go meet Fran when you get there." I'm like, "Fuck yeah." So I show up, my little fucking suit on, you know what I mean? Worst decision I ever
Yeah,
fucking made
IGN.
at
That's not a
IGN.
suit culture either.
You gotta show up though, man.
Standing
I show
out
up-
at least.
I show
bro.
up and I'm sitting there
First
and I'm like
impressions.
just waiting. I walk up to the receptionist. I'm like, "What's up?" You know, looking for Fran, and they're like, "Oh, you can sit down. Like just sit over here. Just
My
wait.
favorite
Just wait.
story.
Just wait." And I'm sitting, and this motherfucker makes me wait like 30 minutes, like just
Damn.
sitting there sweating, like watching people walk in, feeling awkward as fuck. All of a sudden, Eric comes up. He was like, "Hey, wait a minute. Like, why are you still here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm still waiting." And he's like, "Friend still hasn't come?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "God damn it." He's like, "Sorry, man." And then like Eric took me to lunch and we like caught up and like we became really close friends. Like off the bat, it was just
Yeah.
like we just vibed. And I get back and Eric's like, let me introduce you to Fran. And we go and he brings me to Fran's office and Eric like opens the door and I look in and I'm like kind of confused. And then he goes, "Oh, this is Fran." And then Fran's all like, "Oh, hey, Tim, I'm Fran." And I was
Great
just like,
impression if I knew.
fuck. We go through,
Fuck.
nice dude, it's all great. Like, we kind of get along too, but like, you know, he's fucking weird as hell because he's Fran. Whatever, I leave.
Good hair though.
And I look at Eric and I'm just like, I can't believe Fran's a man.
He's a real
I've been
person.
sitting there all day waiting for a woman to walk up to me. Fran Mirabella. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then all of a sudden this little fuck walks in. Hey, you know what I mean? And then I'm stuck with him for fucking 5 years. And now here I am stuck with him for longer. God damn. But anyways, like, that's the story.
Yeah. No, I mean, so obviously you, I think, have done the most originals. Like, from your time at IGN doing like all your like one-off like pieces of content, I think that's the most I've ever seen them kind of give someone for like one-off pieces of content, especially from behind the camera.
To be clear, they didn't give me any.
Well, yeah,
any of that. Like I fought tooth and nail to get it done. And honestly,
one of those things where you make it and you're like, hey, I made this. Do you want this? Like, did you ever do that move? Where it's like,
it was more, hey, I made this. I'm uploading it to the channel. And then it's like, you know, it got like 100,000 views, and I'm like, motherfucker, your videos ain't getting that shit. And they're just like, well, you're right, you know. And that kind of kept happening. And then I got a bit more buy-in, and then you start learning the politics. You start learning how to make things happen. The Avengers boy band video, I fucking love it. One of the stupidest things I've ever made, but I love it. It's just like the most creative passion that a group of people that surrounding me have ever put into one thing at that point.
Yeah.
And it's an Avengers boy band video. And how did I get that video made?
How?
It's simple.
Tell us how.
I went up to Fran and I was like, hey, Fran, do you want to be in this video?
Approved
everything, you know,
big names.
Approved, right? And I got all the key makers to get involved to be in the goddamn video. And next thing you know, the video's being made. Politics 101. Play these motherfuckers like a fit.
Get the people to approve it in it.
Make that, dude. It's easy.
Yeah. But, I mean, jokes aside, like, that's step one. They wouldn't have done that if they didn't already have buy-in on me of, like, understanding what they were getting into. But then that also gave me the opportunity to really prove what I'm worth and like prove that I know what I'm talking about and like that I should get these opportunities. But that also meant that I could have fucked up really bad, you know. And luckily I didn't. Then at least, like, I think looking back, we made a lot of bad calls with a lot of the original content. Like,
what? Yeah, I was going to ask you that. What regret? Not necessarily like, oh, I should have never done this necessarily, but like, what have you put so much work into and the result was just not there that it would have just been better not to have done it necessarily?
It's not so much that, and you know, hindsight's 2020. So it's like there's nothing that I would have changed of content that I made. I would have made more for sure. Going back to the Philip DeFranco conversation, like that type of stuff. But like, I just. It's one of those things where a lesson that I wish that I could go back in time and tell myself then that wouldn't really mean anything because I wouldn't want to change anything because like I needed that to get where I am. You know what I mean? It's that type of bullshit. It's just like, yo, Tim, you're not right. Like, you're a snot-nosed kid that really thinks that he knows everything. And like, you need to not be that way.
So your attitude, you're saying,
I was always positive. I was always good. I was always easy to work with. Be easy to work with. Yeah. That is the fucking key to anything. People are going to want to help you. You are going to make better content. Everything's better when you're easy to work with. Yeah. So it wasn't that. It was just very like a personal thing to me where I just was like, oh, you think you're going to do it that way? Well, the right way is to do this. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily even need to say it to them.
Yeah.
It would never be a thing where it caused issues with me and other people.
Yeah.
It would be more a thing of like, to myself, I should have been more open to learning and to caring. And like, you know, the flip of that is true where people like Eric and Fran and Darren, Brazil,
Darren.
They all respected me as an equal. And they listened to me even though I was under them. That to me taught me more than school ever did, where it's like, holy shit, understanding what we do and being a functioning part of a team is to never think you're above someone else and to never tell someone what to do, but instead talk to them about how to do something and listen to the feedback and work through whatever it is. It's going to be a better end product if you do that. And to this day, Eric and Darren and them like will treat me like an equal.
Yeah.
You know? And granted, over the years, I've been able to become closer to an equal, but from that, I have learned to, whether you know it's Barrett, whether it's you, whether it's my brother, whether it's like anybody around me. Blessing is a good example. Yeah. Like, it's not even necessarily people that we work with, but it's just people that are doing what we do. is be there for them. Listen, not just be there for them. Be a resource to them. Give them anything that I possibly can.
Which is so unheard of, just in general.
It shouldn't be, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what
really is,
makes you guys, like you, especially you,
and
so unique.
Greg is all about it too, man. And it's like, it's some real fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because we believe in that. Greg got the same opportunities that I did from different people in different ways. You need someone to be like, hey, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to help you. But it can't end there. You need to be able to learn from them. You need to be able to look at the people younger than you. And it's not just age. It's everything. It's experience. It's fucking like just, you need to take all of it out and just go in as equals. What can I learn from you? What can you learn from me?
Yeah.
And listen to them. You can't just lecture people. They'll get something out of that. They're not going to get everything out of that.
Yeah.
What they'll get the most out of is you talking to them giving you feedback on that, them telling you things and seeing how you react to it. It's like, it's not necessarily that they're right. It's that you're listening to them, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is so key, and people just miss it all the damn time. Like, you should never treat someone like you're their boss.
So, yeah, and then at the same time, you're also paying it forward, too, right? Given
100%.
the opportunities. That's one thing I always, like, I'm always forever grateful for you, especially for that kind of funny live opportunity. I mean, the opportunities you've given me, like, again, still so appreciative.
And, I mean, dude, thank you, because you're welcome. And also, you're welcome. But it's like, to me, that's a perfect example. I didn't need to do that for you.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about that. You're a best friend. You're somebody, and you did cool shit. You made our content better. You called me out. You did the crash shit. All of that was good content on the morning show, where we're just like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, we didn't know you. Like, we haven't met you. Like, you're just a kid that is making wrestling promos about us. And it's just like, damn, dude, that is awesome. Of course, if there's an opportunity that comes up to, like, integrate that more, you earned it. Right?
Yeah.
It's listening.
I appreciate that.
Right?
But yeah.
But it's like, I think about Andy, right?
Yeah.
Andy works here for one clear reason. Like, his pop that he had was he designed art of us. Really dope art. The Gamescast art, like, that you see. Like, he drew, like, me as Ash and Colin as Mega Man, Nick as Lil Mac, and Greg as Snake. And he just sent that to us. And it was just like, he just tweeted at us. It was like, whoa, this is some dope shit.
You're hired.
And then all of a sudden he, a couple weeks later, like, tweeted some other, like, stupid fan art of a joke that we made. And it was like, oh, fuck, this is dope. Then all of a sudden it's like, Maximum Cortez. Like, he makes dope stuff. All of a sudden it was like, oh, we need to design some shirts. Fuck, who can we get to design shirts?
And that's your guy.
Oh, that Maximum Cortez kid really gets
guy.
it. Like,
Yep.
he knows what we want. And then I called him, we talked, and, like, all of a sudden it was just like, I was like, hey, man, here's what we need. Are you down? Are you interested? Whatever. We talk, and he's like, oh my God. Like, he was just soaked, obviously. He was just like, yeah. But he was like, oh, but, like, what about this? And, like, I listened. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
You're right. You're on the other side. You know what they want from this, And it's that type of, like, give, and take. Next thing you know, he's working with us. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have always been phenomenal at that. Now, I kind of want to finish out the story real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, so you grow on IGN, right? And then you leave to make Kind of Funny, right? Obviously, there's some build up to that. Game Over Greggy was a thing. You were helping out with that, right?
VidCon, blah, blah, blah. You've heard that story
a million times, right? Your mindset going into that, was it are we going to be a successful thing? Like, were you ever scared of just, like, kind of scraping by for a while? Like, what was your mindset going
I don't want
into
this to come off the wrong way.
No, be confident. I'd be like,
like, the truth of this is, I wasn't scared for a single second about leaving IGN and making Kind of Funny.
That's good.
I was 100% confident. I don't think any of the other guys were. They were very confident.
Yeah.
But they all had in different ways a fear this way, a fear that way.
Yeah.
I do think that my utter confidence made Greg feel a lot better. Where he was just like, "Oh, we got this." You know what I mean? And we've always had this thing between us where it's kind of like, all right, like, Nick needs to worry a bit more than we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Greg's not going to think about anything. He's just going to go. And I'm going to be in the back scheme and thinking like, okay, cool. If Greg's doing that, how do I make money off that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, if we make money off that, what do we do with that money? You know, how do we invest that? How do we grow? What do we like? What are the steps? So it's like, I had that confidence because it's not just like, I'm the fucking best. I would have not had the confidence to lead by myself.
Yeah.
I had 100% confidence in the team. I had 100% confidence that Greg was going to keep going 140 miles per hour and Nick was going to like be right. Like Nick's kind of getting pulled on the back of the horse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's at least slowing him down enough so he doesn't run into anything, right? And I just kind of get to sit back and like see where the horse is running and like make bets.
If Patreon never happened, is this the thing? Like, did you think you would have left as soon as...
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Would you have left later?
There was no plan to leave. There was no plan
Patreon
to
presenting
leave
itself.
IGN. Patreon happened when we launched on September 14th in 2014, and in a day got 10K a month. It was like,
Wow.
Oh, fuck. Like, we weren't expecting that at all. Then that caused a lot of sideways glances at IGN and a lot of like, a lot of shade, a lot of like shitty stuff, right?
Yeah.
A lot of jealousy.
Did you tell him that you were doing the Patreon?
No. So here's my thing. There's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
So for all these people like throwing shade and whatever, it's like, all right, we didn't really necessarily do things the right way. And like, to be honest, it's not that we did it the wrong way. We did tell them we were going to do it the day before.
Yeah.
Like,
The day before.
I mean, we told Fran, right? At that point, Fran was me, Greg, and Nick's boss. Colin was still on editorial, but Greg had been moved over to video. And so Fran was our boss. Fran had two bosses above him, right? So going through all of this, it's like Fran's also one of our best friends. So it's like we weren't trying to fuck him over at all. I mean, as
Just
you
the
can see with how things are now. But it's like, all right. Exactly. But going through with all that stuff, it was kind of like we knew the bullshit we were going to face if we gave them the option to say yes or no. And we knew that we were allowed to do it. Like, there was nothing that said we couldn't. And
there's no compete clause in the...
well, now there is.
Oh, yeah.
Started it.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, but like, we kind of were the only ones bold enough to do it. And that started a ripple effect. But the thing there is that we made the choice, the shady choice, if you want to look at it that way, of, we're going to tell them, but we're not going to give them the time to have an option.
Yeah, because then you go through the whole corporate thing.
Oh my God, it would not.
Oh well, you can't do this, or I need you to sign this, or you can't do.
Because again, it's kind of like the production team where they're gonna just give you more obstacles and obstacles. Like, hey, you can't do this because of this, and then you're gonna go back and rebrand your stuff, and you're like, no, I don't want to do any of that.
And now, to be fair, I don't blame them. I can't blame them.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them at all.
It's like it hits a point where it's just like, oh fuck, man. Like, it essentially was 4 of, in whatever fields we were in within IGN, like 4 of the top guys kind of strong holding together and just like being like, we're in control now.
Wow.
That ain't cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
it's not cool. But the thing is, we didn't mean it that way. Like, we weren't like big dick swinging.
You were doing something for you guys.
It's like, yo, we're doing this. Like, leave us the fuck alone. Like, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing for you for years. Like, stop. Like, whatever. But I understand the fear, right? But the problem, and when I talk about a lot of the shade, a lot of that came from the people that had nothing to do with any of those decisions, that just see things happening. And it roots from jealousy, man. It roots from people that are looking and they're just like, oh, how come they get to do that?
Because you're working, you're grinding for it, though.
But it's like, we didn't get to do it. We just did it. And it's just like, it was so funny seeing the amount of people launch YouTube channels that lasted 2 weeks because they realized how much fucking work went into it. At that point, we'd been making Game Over Great show for a year and a half.
That does lead into my next question, though. YouTube burnout. You see, I mean, I've seen countless YouTube groups, YouTube channels go under. What, like... For you, what's the burnout? Like, do you get burned out? Because even me, especially with like, you know, like a full-time like real job, right? And then coming home and then, you know, doing a myriad of shows or editing this or whatever. Have you been legitimately burned out before?
Oh my God, I mean, it's rare that I'm not. Like, it's the reality of things. Like, when you love something, the line between your free time and your job time starts to blur. That's bad. It's all about balance. It's about relationships. It's about having a team. I can't go back to that enough. It's about having people that are equally as passionate as you to rely on and to fall back on and to be there for at any moment. And we are lucky here at Kind of Funny that we have that to a T. And we are able to balance and shift and go back and forth. And it's like, honestly, it's same shit, different day, where it's always going to be a new challenge. There's always going to be something different. And it's like, whether you're a struggling, like, smaller channel that's like just getting 12 views a video and, feels like it's not worth it. That feeling is equally burnoutable and like stressful as a channel our size that is, struggling to, or struggling is not the right word, but like,
you're fine.
We're not making millions of dollars. We're not getting millions of views. Like, we are staying where we're at. The place is a good place.
Yeah.
And it's killer. That's equally as stressful as channels that have millions of subs that, oh man, they're not getting 5 million views a video. Now they're getting 2 million views a video. I'd fucking kill for 2 million views a video. But to them, that's drop,
a 3 million drop. That's a big drop.
Yeah.
That stresses them out equally. Burnout's going to be there no matter what. You need to be able to find how to deal with it yourself. And I feel like so much of that, it comes down to honesty and communication, just like every relationship. And you need a team of people, whether that's friends, family, partners, whatever it is. You need people that you can talk to, work things through, and just keep pushing forward and address issues when there are issues.
Sorry. I want to say something real quick. After them, go back to the launch of Kind of Funny. So like, after you guys launched Kind of Funny, was like joining Rooster Teeth Network, was that always part of the plan, or was that just kind of happen?
No. Nothing's ever part of the plan. Things just fucking happen, and you need to decide how to react to it. Like,
they hit you up like, hey guys.
Yeah. No, straight up.
Yeah.
So I mean the quick
Have
version,
you already been there to Rooster Teeth though? When they kind of
So
sorry,
the Rooster Teeth thing in a quick nutshell is I'd been a Rooster Teeth fan since literally day one. I saw Red vs. Blue the day it got uploaded. I when they first launched usernames on roosterteeth.com, I got Tim Gettys, and I've had it since then. Like, if you go to Rooster Teeth now, you can see Tim Gettys user since 2004. Like,
fresh.
That's fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
OG.
I have been an OG there, just fan, right? Then simultaneously from that, when we were doing all that IGN stuff, the first year we went to IGN, to VidCon, was in 2012, which was the year Jenna Marbles was blowing up, and that was when we decided to launch the Game Over Greggy channel. We went to the Maker Studios party. Maker Studios is now Disney Interactive. A lot of shit's happening.
Yeah,
but back then, when it was Maker was one of the biggest YouTube networks that existed. PewDiePie was Maker. Before then, anybody you fucking know their name was there. The director of programming there was this man named Louis Medina. Louis Medina, one of my very close friends, and he was the dude that Eric Hart looked up to. We were at this party, and Eric's like, who the fuck is that guy? He is running shit. He knows everybody. He got us into this party. He was just the shit. And I was like, God damn, Eric's looking up to someone else? Like, who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
And he was super cool. And then, like, a couple years later, he ran into me and Nick at PAX after we had launched Kind of Funny. And he was just like, hey, Tim, Nick. Like, hey, it's Louis. Like, we met at the party last year or whatever. Like, we should stay in touch. Like, if anything's going on, like, you should, like, do you have a MCN at YouTube? And we're like, oh, yeah, we're with Collective. He's like, oh, well, if you ever want Machinima, like, or not Machinima, Maker, we should talk, whatever. And it's like, oh, fuck yeah, you remember us. That's cool. Flash forward past that, it's March. No, it's not. It's December 2015. It must be. Yeah, December 2015. And I get a call from a random number, and I answer. It's like, hey, it's Louis Medina. I don't know if you remember me, but and I was like, I fucking remember you. You're like Eric Hart's man crush. And he was just like, hey, I got some crazy news. So I'm not a Maker anymore. I'm heading up the YouTube side, like the partnerships at Rooster Teeth. And I was like,
say no more.
What the fuck? And he's like, and we want Kind of Funny to be part of it. He's like, we've learned all the lessons of what not to do. Maker was horrible. Machinima had its issues. Blah, 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 blah. We are going to start what's called the Let's Play Family. And it is going to be a boutique thing where it's just going to be a couple, like, quality people that we're going to look at and hone in on and focus on and whatever. And we want you to be one of the marquee ones. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, we're going to fly out to SF to talk to you guys. Jeff Ramsey's coming, who's a founder of Rooster Teeth. Like, we're going to talk, we're going to meet and whatever. Bernie, like, loves you guys, always talks highly about you. And, you know, like, let's go. And we had lunch. We talked it all through. And it was one of the things where it's like, this just makes sense. Like,
yeah.
And I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But, you know, from the business side, it was just like, it is just the most cohesive, like, partnership of all time.
Originally, was it an offer to buy? Or was it?
No, it's never been.
It was always.
It's never been
I was
offer to buy.
yeah.
But it's like people don't know what the fuck they're talking
Yeah,
about, and they like to like
sellouts.
like they're sellouts and like like they're like Rooster Teeth's gonna buy them, dude. Let me fucking tell you, Rooster Teeth's not gonna buy us.
Why would you ever sell to anybody?
I mean, what at some point we might.
Why though?
Because at some point it might make more sense for us to do that, to be able to do the things we want to do. That's not now. That's not in a foreseeable future. But I don't want to say no to that because it might hit a point where we're like, yo, we have found the next generation, the next generation, the this. We want to have an entire editorial team for like real video game coverage, like proper video game coverage with review scores and with like journalists doing news. That's shit we don't do right now.
Yeah.
You know? But what if we wanted to? We can't do that. We don't have the means. And at the rate we're going, I don't think that'll ever be a thing. That's all stuff that we want to do. Me and Greg believe in that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But that's all stuff. That's all hypotheticals. Like that.
Yeah.
Selling to a company is not the goal.
Yeah.
I want to do my own shit forever.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have a good thing going. Why would we stop it? But like, I think that it's very close-minded to be like, oh, we would never. That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid to close any option off. Like,
Yeah.
especially with how crazy things are going and how much things are changing and like and evolving. But yeah, Rooster Teeth never offered to buy us. That wouldn't make any goddamn sense. And on top of that, it's like we both benefit each other more with the relationship we have, where we both just make money off of each other.
Yeah,
Like, it's fucking great. Like, there's no downside at all. And like, you know, people for some reason want to like act like you know,
like they have a say in the content at all.
it's not just a say in the content, like that they have found some secret that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Where it's
there's always that. There's always going to be the conspiratorial.
but there's just like, oh man, like they're doing this because Rooster Teeth is making them, and I liked it before better, and they're making it worse, and it's because Rooster Teeth is actually
you just
bought
don't
them.
like the content
And it's
anymore.
like, hey man, yeah, maybe just we just changed. Like it's not because Rooster Teeth, and they're not buying us, and they didn't buy us, and they're not gonna buy us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, outside of content, then what drives kind of funny success? Like, what really outside of content really brings in the money, the views? Like, what do you guys do?
Those are different questions, and I'll answer both of them. What brings in our success? Community. Best friends.
Yeah.
It's real shit. People can say it's bullshit. It's not. That is what brings our success. That's what we measure our success. When we can go out and talk to people and have them talk to each other that we aren't even part of the conversation, all of a sudden they have a friendship. That to me is success
Dope.
because that means we built something real.
Yeah.
We built something that's real and scalable in a way that doesn't need to be millions of people. It could be 20 fucking people. It could be 100. It could be 100,000. Those people are in. They're in this thing. They feel like they have people they can talk to and relate to and disagree with and agree with. And that's another thing with the best friend stuff. People always just like, oh, best friends wouldn't treat each other this way. Have you had a best friend?
Yeah.
Like, dude.
It's a true one. Man.
Yeah, it's
had a
like
best friend?
like people fight, people disagree, people get at each other, but then they work through it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
100%.
That to me is why we're successful. Like that is what we gauge our success in. Is are people fucking with us?
The community.
Yeah, and if they're fucking with us, we're doing it right. Now, how do we make money and how we do all that stuff? That's a different question. That to me is a lot of strategy, a lot of hard work, a lot of thinking about how every single thing affects the other.
Yeah.
And giving it's a nice balance between all the question words: who, what, where, how, when, why.
And this is where you guys sit down like on a table and kind of just strategize everything like on a chalkboard.
It's not so much that as much as like it hits a point where you kind of feel it.
Okay.
Like
Is this based off that community engagement?
not
you
every
had?
show is created equal.
All right.
KFAF versus Kind of Funny Games Daily versus Screencast.
Yeah.
Let's just use those three, right? KFAF could not exist if the other morning shows didn't exist. The other morning shows, being podcasts that have podcast ads, allow KFAF to function as a podcast, which then gets grouped together, which allows, there's money being made. And the way we're looking at it is that it's like, okay, KFAF's not making that much money, but these other things do. And people love KFAF. And we love making KFAF. Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Games Daily, bread and butter. Yeah, we got to do it. We enjoy. Games Daily is the slam dunk of all of it. Where I wish
that's your prime time. That's your prime time.
Everything we did. I wish we could just do Games Daily, Games Hourly, right? Like we care about the content. We believe in it. People like it. It's easy to make. It's kind of like all of the best things combined, right? But you can't replicate that over and over and over. So it's like that's where that kind of falls in. Whereas Screencast is filling a need. And it's not doing as well as we want it to, but we believe in the product and we believe that people are going to come for that type of content. And also, it is a kind of education platform for Kevin to become a host, to learn how to do it. And like Joey as well. Like it's kind of like not an incubator, but it's like that show, its function is kind of bringing up new talent a little bit.
Also, I think incubator is perfect.
And like that shit's so fucking key. And then there's things like In Review that are interesting. Yeah. So like I haven't talked about this before publicly, but it's like In Review undeniably is our most popular show when you're talking about stats. I mean, pretty much when you're talking about any actual number you can look at, whether it's video views, whether it's audio downloads, whether it's money made for ads, whether it's new subscribers gained, whether it's old subscribers watching, like it's just like across the board, just like the best.
That's dope.
On top of that,
we
love doing it. We fucking love doing it. But there's cons to it. One of the cons is it's not just, hey, let's sit here and talk for an hour. That's our longest show. Yeah. Easily. It's also 5 people on the show.
That balancing act of...
It's also... That's 5 man hours.
All about opinions,
10 man hours because it's 2 hours a show, whatever, right? But also, it's people that aren't necessarily always on the show. So Kevin's on the show, which means that Barrett has to be running the show. So that means there's more people. Yeah. That also means that they can't be doing other things. So it's like, there's ripple effects to every single fucking thing. And on top of that, we need to watch a movie every week. And it's like, oh, boo-hoo, you have to watch a movie. Well, when are you supposed to do that?
Time,
We have all this other shit we have to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, at some point, you have to fit it in to your schedule at home to watch it, because we can't do it here.
3 a.m.
So now it's work at home. Now it's
and then now it just turns into this thing. And it's like, so there's pros and cons. But at the end of the day, we believe in that show. Yeah. If we didn't believe in it,
show.
Fuck the numbers. Fuck everything. It wouldn't be worth it, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it is because we believe in it. And then there's a ton of people, like real community members that I see that have valid criticisms where they're just like I don't like In Review because I feel like they do franchises that I don't want to watch or whatever, so I skip out on it. And I'm like I feel like you should give it a shot. Like that show is much more than the franchise it is. Yeah. But if you don't like it, cool, that's totally fine. But then I see people that are just like, well, In Review is obviously not working, so they should go back to the morning show or whatever. And it's just like, dude, one episode of In Review will do better than an entire week of
podcast
the morning show.
Shows.
Like in any way you cut it, like even a low performing, it's just like,
it's crazy.
And again, I'm not just talking about views. I'm talking about, I named a bunch of things earlier, right? The money made, views, whatever. Yeah. Comments.
Yeah, engagement.
Likes.
Engagement.
Conversation. Conversation.
That's huge
off
for YouTube.
Platform.
Yeah,
not just on YouTube. Facebook threads, Reddit threads, talking about it. It's like, this is the value of content, right?
It's really like internet engagement.
And so few of our products have that consistently. But out of everything we do, I would say there are 3 that do. Games Daily, In Review, and KFAF. Yeah. And I feel like those 3, there's something special there.
Pillars.
And those special things are all very fucking different.
Yeah.
But they all, to me, are examples of success.
Damn.
You feel envy?
What the fuck did you say?
You ever feel envy?
Envy?
the fuck did you just say?
No, like, I mean, obviously you're hustling, right? Mm-hmm. You're hustling your ass off. You guys are some of the most hardworking people in production I know. Like, it's always something going, right? I mean, even with like things like Kind of Funny Live, like you're hustling your ass off. You built this great community. You guys trying different things. Like, you're not keeping it the same, right? So it gets stagnant. You're trying to grow. You're gradually growing, but you're not at that million, right? Whereas like you see someone like Cow Chop, who's like younger than you. Granted, they're gone now, but they're
not
young.
Yet.
Yeah,
almost, and they're not younger than me. Like,
well, no, I'm saying younger in terms of like the channel itself, right?
Well,
it's a year than Kind of Funny.
I mean, that's the thing is like we've all been in this fucking shit for so long. It's like, okay, cool, Cow Chop, sure. Cow Chop used to be the Creatures. The Creatures lasted or were way earlier than Kind of Funny. You get what I'm saying? It's like, where did they come from? Where did all like Brett, the like kind of like I would say Brett's the Tim of Cow Chop, like, kind of like the puppet master of it all. He worked at G4.
Yeah, Mission with
you know what I mean?
G4.
It's just like you don't get more OG than
that.
I missed that show.
But sorry, not to.
No, it's all good. But like, you see
you.
These channels kind
of.
Do
I get envious? Do I get jealous? Fuck yes. Oh my god, it sucks. It sucks so bad. I don't need us to be a million. Like, I don't even look at a million. I don't look at our subscribers.
Yeah, obviously
like,
that's not the thing.
I think that's a thing, but it's like I want them.
Yeah.
You know, and I see other channels. I'm just like, what the fuck are like? Why?
What are you doing different than us? Because that's the thing. You guys hustle your ass off. You make great content, right? Mm-hmm. And I always ask it like I've had this conversation with Kevin all the time, where it's like that would bother me to the point to where it's just like, it's not that, you don't need them, right? You guys are doing fine. You're doing great, right? Because there are people out there with like millions of subscribers and they're not making that much money, right?
I mean, dude, here's the thing. Oh man, this conversation gets so difficult because it's not about any one thing. All the things matter. It's how they work in synergy. Because it's like, okay, there's bigger channels that don't make as much money. It's not about the money, but that's true. And it's like, when you look at all these guys, what happens? Cow Chop's about to not exist anymore. Yeah. By the end of this year, Cow Chop's gone. Why? Yeah. You know, the Creatures don't exist. Screw Attack doesn't exist. Like, one by one, all these big groups that are getting way more views than we ever would don't exist. What's the difference? To me, it's the team. It's the belief. It's the community. And that's not to say that all those groups don't have great communities, but there's a commitment to the community and there's a push through the bullshit. Things are going to get bad. We're going to have bad moments. We've had real bad moments in our history. We never let that destroy us. We always were like, cool, what do we have? It goes back to the beginning of this conversation. We're going full circle. Yeah. It's the limitations that define what you're doing and who you are. Yeah. What rules, what obstacles are being put in front of me that I need to work within? What can I do with them? And that's what Kind of Funny is, and that's why we're successful. We're not successful to so many people. They'll look at us as a joke. Yeah. Like, I don't know this for sure, but I'm sure that a lot of the other like Rooster Teeth properties, like so many people look at us and are just like, what the fuck? Yeah. But guess what? They all love us as people. When we go to different events, like, people like hanging out with us. Yeah. Why? Because we're best friends. We fucking live that shit. It's not a facade. It's not something that we sell our community. It's reality. Yeah. And I've seen so many other groups that don't like to talk to each other, don't like to play nice, aren't fucking cool. People love hanging out with us.
It's different. Shit. You're right. I mean, that was a beautiful way to kind of wrap it up. You gents got anything for Tim Gettys before we go?
This is a beautiful TED Talk.
I do. I love it. I mean, Tim, no, it's good. You are a hustler, and I just love picking your brain about shit like this.
I mean, you just asked me about my favorite subject.
Yeah, I know. I love it. And I think you're such a hustler, and like, I do observe you from afar, just in terms of like, not in a creepy way, but like in terms of like the moves that you're making, like in terms of like, and trying to soak up as much of that as possible, because it's like, it is so strategic, like you said, like there are people with millions of views go under, right? And they don't make enough money, blah, yada, yada, yada. Yet you guys are still growing without growing in terms of like subscriber numbers, right? So, yeah, I mean, just kudos to you, man. Your hustle is unreal.
Kudos to you guys. I'm proud of you. You're doing it.
Hyped to talk to you. I've seen Greg give you hella shout outs on KFGD.
Hell yeah.
You know, Forbes 30 under 30, Woo! AKA. I fucking love when he does that. So definitely the man with the plan. I was happy to
man.
Come here, sit down with you, man.
Yeah, picking the brain, man. So I appreciate that time.
Well,
Fuck you. I still don't appreciate you talking shit.
I'm that guy.
Got him.
well, thank you for joining me on Completely Consensual. You can follow Tim Gettys at Tim Gettys. You can follow all his endeavors at youtube.com/kindoffunny games. All that good. Anything else you want to plug? Internet Explorers.
Twitter.com/kindacoolgreg is my favorite Twitter to follow.
Hey,
so
that's
check
true.
that out.
The fight videos
what
he
a
likes,
friend.
A1.
Not the fight video.
No, they're my favorite fight
Everything
videos.
but the fight
no,
videos.
I love the fight videos. You keep doing you, Cool Greg. You know what I mean?
Can I jump in here one time before we sign off?
Yeah, what's up, Cool G?
Hey, this man Tim Gettys right here. Since I got hired at Kind of Funny, he's had me. He knew I was into graffiti. He had me design a poster. He knew I was into rap. He had me rap in front of 1,000 people or something. He knew I loved Sasha Banks, and he had me interview her. But even 10 years ago, when we won that talent show, that was on my birthday, and he had a whole stage, the whole people before we even won, sing me happy birthday. Shout out my bro right here.
Hey, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
My
Well,
man.
until next time, we are Play Everything.